Hello everyone. In this video we will be learning how to import data from Excel into SPSS. In business research and in organizational research, it's one of the most common practices is to use survey questionnaire. And here I'm showing you a simple survey questionnaire where I have used Likert scale from 1 to 5, where 1 equals to strongly disagree and 5 equals to strongly agree. And here you see my items, right, representing different constructs, and here you see my sample demographic question. Okay, let's go straight to Excel sheet. Okay. After we have collected the data, from our respondent, we need to make a sheet like that. We need to make a sheet like this. Actually, we need to give ID to each of our respondents' response. So this ID number 1 represents that our respondent have recorded their responses to CS1, which is item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, item 5 for customer satisfaction, and then likewise for food quality and perceived value, and then ambience, and then a few demographic questions. Okay, it's extremely important that we also use also put some type of coding here. This coding helps in many ways, especially after we have imported data into SPSS. If anything goes wrong, we need to track back. We can always track back our data through this coding, and we'll be using the same codes in SPSS as well. Okay, so once we have prepared our sheet, we have prepared our questionnaire sheet like this. Okay, so we have ID here that which actually just represents this represents the number of respondent 1, 2, 3, 4. So this response here is the response we have collected from our respondent number 5, and these are the responses for each of the item on our questionnaire. Okay, next we need to prepare our demographic questions. It's recommended that, especially for the novice researchers, recommended they just prepare their demographic data right here in Excel instead of taking this data into textual format into SPSS and then dealing there. It could be a little tricky there for a novice researcher. Okay, so what I've done here, I've done this for gender, male and female. For female I put 0, for male I put 1. Okay, that's what I've done here. Likewise for education, I had asked, assuming that I had asked only 3 levels of education, bachelor, master's, high school, bachelor and master's. So for high school I've given them 1, for bachelor I've given them 2, I've labeled them 2, and for masters I've labeled them 3. Likewise, assuming that we talk to people, the respondent who responded to our questionnaire, we can essentially divide their occupation into 4 types of occupation. Let's say number 1, the label 1 represents for the people who work for government. Label 2 represent people who have a small or medium or large size business, or even if they do some type of freelancing. Number 3 is for student, and number 4 is for all other type of we call conventional titles such as doctor, dentist, or engineer. Okay, that's about it. Once we are done with our sheet here, once we have prepared our sheet here, what we need to do, we need to open SPSS. Okay, now let me close it here. Let me close this file. Okay, now we need to get to SPSS. We need to go here, import data, file, import data, and because we have saved our file in Excel format, so I'll just oops, okay, give me a second. Okay, after a few seconds pause, I'm here where I wanted to show you. Okay, so this is the file data sheet for SPSS. Okay, okay, so let's open it right here. It's the same file that I showed you a few seconds ago. Okay, and then we import the data as it is. We don't make any changes as of now. Okay, so after we have imported the data, we're gonna see something like this here. We're gonna see two views here: data view and variable view. Okay, data view essentially shows us the numbers that we have imported, the data we have imported from our Excel sheet, and the variable view is where we can give any name. We can make certain changes, in terms of the name, the label, and the measurement type, so much and so on. So let's take a look at number one, customer satisfaction. Remember the coding? I talked about the coding. I talked about coding, giving a code to each of our items. So this is what I'll be doing here. Okay, this is what I'll be doing here. Okay, so let's say customer satisfaction center CS1, and then we copy here, and we put here, paste, and then 2, and then 3, 4, and 5. Okay, same we do with food quality, FQ, and then 1. These labels really help when we do analysis. It really helps when we generate our results, our analysis in tables in SPSS. They kind of make our tables look cleaner and easier to understand, see and understand than what is happening there. So I'll just copy and I'll paste here. Okay, then put 2. If you notice here, food quality 2 corresponding to FQ2, right? So we just need to make sure we are putting the right label in front of each items. Okay, 4, and then 5. So I'm going to do the same with all other measures here. Okay, so I've given labels to all of my items here. Now I'm down to gender. Okay, so first thing first, okay, oops, I see here, that's fine, but here I see an extra line, extra row, so I need to clear it. Okay, there you go. And then I'm gonna go here. Okay, so we need to put a label. We did that. Let's go to values. Okay, if you remember our Likert scale that we have used for these items, okay, value 1 refers to strongly disagree, okay. And then value 2 refers to disagree, okay, and then 3 neutral, and then 4 agree, and then 5 strongly agree. That's it. Okay, I can check spelling. Spelling looks okay. Okay, and then I copy here, and note what I'm doing here. I'm selecting all these until here, until down to our items, right? Last items. Okay, let me first save it, so in case anything goes. Okay, SPSS final file. Okay, just because there's one final file already there. Okay, that's about. Now we need to take a look at the values for gender. Okay, so let's assume that for gender, not assuming, in fact, factually we put 0 for female and 1 for male. Okay, this is also called binary variable, so we create a binary variable here. Okay, and then we go for education. For education we said what was that? We said one for high school, two for bachelor, okay, and then 3 for masters. That's it. Spelling, okay, and the last one here, value occupation. Okay, so what was that? I'll have to take a look at. So let's say we said 1 for government, okay, let's say we said 2 for business, okay, and 3 for, we said student, okay, and the 4th one we said the conventional title, convention, so I'll say conventional here. Okay, that's about it. Okay, so we're done with values here. We don't need to do anything with ID. We have just so look here what I've done. Again, I have given my 5-point Likert scale values here wherever I have items, and then here for the demographic questions I have added a different value here according to the original value in our questionnaire, the values that I showed you on my Excel sheet. And then here the measure, the type of measure. Okay, we don't care about the first one ID. What we are quite concerned about here, these items should be scaled, right? These items should be scaled. And then copy, and then down to items. Just make sure you don't select demographic variable. Oops. Okay, again, copy, and then here down to, oops, every time it's doing the same. So let me try manually. Yeah, I'm done. So scale, let me save it again. So it says scale everywhere here except here, right? So I can keep it nominal and then ordinal. That doesn't matter as of now. Okay, it only matters if you want to do certain type of analysis where education should be, as it is, right? Okay, so let's go back here. Let me show you the data view. We're done. Okay, just the last thing I want to show you. Look here. So if you want to know what are the answers of my respondent, I click here, right, value labels, and I can see that. Likewise, if you want to know what are the original values here, original labels of gender, education, occupation, I can see. I'm going to see the the numeric view. I'm right here, and that's about it. If you are able to create your sheet, up to this point, where what I've done, I believe you should be able to do a number of basic and advanced analysis in SPSS. Okay, thank you. Take care.